Carnage by nature as thousands of students descend on Norwich city centre tonight for a controversial pub crawl.
Extra police are being drafted in, while health experts are warning of the effects events like this can have.
But organisers say the night will be carefully managed and that it does not promote drinking to dangerous levels. Here's Emma Baker's report.
It claims to be the best student event ever, and there was no doubt what these people were looking forward to this afternoon.
Drinks, ladies, it's a bit of fun really, hang around with the fellas and that, so pretty much it really, just a blast.
I expect to be drinking more, just like all night. It's going to go on for a while, and obviously it's cheaper drinks.
There's so many students involved, like you meet people like yourselves all the time, like you meet new people all the time, so I think it'll be really good, yeah.
Throughout the afternoon, students and partygoers have been turning up at this pub here on the Prince of Wales Road to pick up their pre-ordered T-shirts, which have been made by Carnage UK especially for tonight. But unsurprisingly, perhaps, not everyone in Norwich is welcoming the event.
There are some real acute and real problems for students caught up in tonight's event. Carnage and events of a similar nature tend to degrade students, and unfortunately these kind of events kind of eclipse some of the good things that students are actually doing out there in the community.
Medical experts say events like this do nothing to help the fight against binge drinking.
Binge drinking can result not only in the short-term effects on the night of either health problems or the social problems that can be associated with heavy drinking, but in some cases can lead to long-term alcohol misuse problems.
No one from Carnage UK was available for interview today, but in a statement, Varsity Leisure Group, which runs the events, said there have been 2 Carnage UK events in Norwich within the last 12 months, both of which have passed off peacefully. VLG does not promote binge drinking, nor does it promote drinking to dangerous levels. All participating venues will be operating a responsible pricing tariff in relation to the sale of alcoholic drinks. Norwich Police was involved in the 2 previous Carnage UK events in the city. This evening they will have more officers on shift to make sure the night passes by peacefully.
Just in its name, it conjures up something that we've got to be wary of. But our experience is that we're working with the organisers and the premises that are going to host the young people tonight, that we can support that event so it's actually a safe night out, and there's little or no disruption from the people of Norwich who are just going about their business.
Tonight's event undoubtedly trades on its reputation for excess. Many will be watching this one closely, keen that it isn't seen to exacerbate an already growing binge drinking problem.
Well, let's join Emma Baker now in Norwich. Emma, just looking at some of those pictures, it could be a busy night for the police by the looks of it.
Absolutely, Jonathan. Yeah, at the moment, as you can see behind me, it's all looking pretty calm, but in just a few hours, around 2,000 partygoers are expected to descend here on the Prince of Wales Road. Now, as I said, the organisers do insist they are acting responsibly with this event. There will be extra police on hand, and I should point out that bill will not be paid for by the taxpayer. Instead, it will be footed by the people who are organising this event. Now, the theme for tonight is going to be doctors and nurses. There will, of course, be people who will be hoping there won't be any need for the real medical experts later on this evening.
Let's hope so. Emma, thank you very much indeed for that. Get yourself inside. Right, stay with us here on ITV Anglia. All the news from your part of the region, it's all coming up next.
Amanda's here with the weather, and we'll be joining the celebrations for a famous sporting triumph.
I'm in Brackley as the town celebrates a fairy tale year for their Formula 1 team.
And it was a very cold and misty start here at Sywell in Northamptonshire, although the sunshine did eventually shine through. However, I don't think it will return tomorrow as it's cloudy with some patchy rain and it's getting even.
Now, more news from your part of the region. A mother from Norfolk is making the painful journey to meet the body of her soldier son killed in Afghanistan.
Elizabeth Chant from Great Yarmouth is travelling to RAF Bryce Norton to see him brought home. Today, she added her voice to criticism of the Prime Minister over his misspelling of another dead soldier's name. Alpa Patel reports.
Getting ready for a painful journey. Elizabeth Chant has seen the coffins carrying dead soldiers returning to RAF Bryce Norton in Oxfordshire, seen the grieving relatives standing at the roadside in Wootton Bassett. Tomorrow, she will be one of them.
You're not just thinking about your own son, then you're thinking about all the other sons. That'll make it worse tomorrow because all the other families will be there in the same predicament as what you're in.
Her world fell apart last Tuesday when she found out her son, Regimental Sergeant Major Darren Chant, had been shot dead by an Afghan policeman. This is Darren Chant at a passing out parade soon after he joined the Grenadier Guards. On the day he was killed, he'd been due to find out he'd been promoted to captain. Tomorrow, Elizabeth will wear her son's crest from his hat on her jacket with pride. Elizabeth has received dozens of cards from friends, family and even members of the public. There's even a Facebook page dedicated to Darren with thousands of messages on it. But despite all the kindness shown by strangers, Elizabeth says she's received little support from the Army and Gordon Brown. Today, the Army said any request for support would, of course, be sympathetically considered. Elizabeth says she's also upset by today's revelation that the Prime Minister wrote to another mother but misspelled her dead son's name.
Somebody should have checked that letter before it left Downing Street. I thought it was a child's writing.
But today all Elizabeth can think about is getting her son home.
I just think of him laying over there cold and with those people who murdered him. And he should be back in this country with his family.
Alpa Patel, Anglia News, Great Yarmouth.
Bus drivers who work for First Essex staged a third strike today in a dispute over pay. The Unite Union says drivers are unhappy with the 3-year pay deal offered by the company. First Essex say their pay offer is fair and have apologised to passengers for another day of disruptions.
Workers began on a £10 million scheme to improve road safety on the M11 near Stansted Airport. Nearly 5 miles of the motorway between Junction 8 and Junction 9 will be resurfaced and the central reservation barrier strengthened. The work is expected to finish next March.
A man from Suffolk has been removed from the country after being refused permission to stay in the UK. James Ryu is being denied British citizenship because of a drink driving offence he committed 3 years ago in America. He was born in the States but has an English mother and grew up in the Ipswich area. The UK border agencies say he can reapply for citizenship when the conviction lapses.
Police say there's still no sign of a missing pensioner from Norfolk. 79-year-old James Niblock from Taverham has Alzheimer's. He visited Marks & Spencer in Norwich on Friday afternoon and was last seen on CCTV near Debenhams. Police have been putting up posters of him in the city centre and are also searching bus routes.
Mr Niblock was shopping with his wife at around 2:30 on Friday when he actually went missing. He was going for a comfort break, but because he has Alzheimer's, we think he became rather confused and didn't know where he was going. We'd spotted him on CCTV about 8 minutes later. He only had £8 in his pocket. £8 in 2 days is not going to go far.